Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Jeff Schroeder and I am going to be your instructor for your upcoming course, NU 588, Theoretical Bases of Teaching. This course will help to prepare you with some of the an understanding of some of the principles that are important in nursing education, and we're going to touch on a lot of different subjects. We're going to talk, the main focus of the course is going to be talking about theories of learning and theories of teaching and how we take those theoretical concepts and then apply them in the real world. Much the same way that if you were to take a course in nursing theory, that you take those theoretical principles and apply them to your bedside nursing practice. Here we do the same idea, talk about some of the important concepts or some things that are important to include in a curriculum and important to include in nursing education program, and then discuss how do we actually take that need to get that knowledge into students' minds and into their practice. How do we teach that? How do we transfer that? And how do we convey that to students? That's going to be a big focus of this course. I'm not going to get into a great deal of content right now, or at least not too much discussion of the content of the course. I will be posting one of these video introductions each week, or at least most weeks I will. I find that the video introductions are a good way for me to convey education or convey some of the information. It helps to build a little bit of a rapport with the class, I think. I do record these in real time. These weren't recorded months ago and then imported in. I will be doing one of these videos for each class, so that each video that I have will be reviewing and actually addressing some of the things that came up in that week's discussion. I think that that's important, so we can talk about, and I can kind of do a video wrap up for the previous week's discussion and then introduce and highlight some of the information that will be coming up in the coming weeks. This week, the primary task is for you to review the syllabus. Of course, I have an informational announcement that includes some of the key dates and some of the key informations that you need to know. And that's really more sort of a boilerplate. But really you want to get into the syllabus, review the assignments. Let me know if you have any questions. Please, 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 always feel free to ask questions. If anything seems unclear, especially if there's some concepts that seem unclear, please post a question in the Ask Your Instructor forum. That's the best place for you to post questions, because if you have a question, likely other people do too, and it's much easier and much more efficient for me to answer one question for the class, and as opposed to doing it through like endless emails to multiple people in the class. If you do have any individual concerns, however, please feel free to go ahead and shoot me an email. It's listed in the class, my usual Sacred Heart email. I do, in my faculty bio, have a backup email that you can use if for some reason you can't get through in my school email. But I do check my emails. On rare occasions, I'll go a day and a half without checking it. I'm usually checking it multiple times each day. So usually if you post a question, if you post or send me an email, I can almost always get you a response within 24, possibly 36 hours. If there is something that you do need a quicker response, something more of an emergent situation, there's not too many times that that comes up. I do, in my faculty bio, have a personal email that I'm like most of you, I get most of my emails come to my cell phone. So it does pop up a little bit more readily there if you have a real issue with something, usually something technical in the class that you need an immediate response back. For the most part, just sending me an email or posting a question in the Ask Your Instructor forum will work quite well. Please feel free to ask any question at all. That's really what I'm here for. My goal is to help you to attain your educational goals. We'll be talking about theoretical frameworks later on, but I'm very much in the Rogerian school of education philosophy. And what that means is Carl Rogers was a psychologist, actually, who viewed education very much and learning very much as an experiential process. And I feel that I'm experiential right along with you. And so I'm always looking for new things to learn. So I'm not the sage on the stage kind of a guy. I'm not the kind of guy that sees myself as the absolute expert here. In some ways, I suppose I can say that I am. However, really, my view of everything nursing is that there's always something to be learned from every class, always something to be learned from every student. And so I like to try to immerse myself in the discussions right along with you and learn right along with you. Um, my philosophy of discussions, again, go ahead and review the announcements. Remember, discussion responses, the initial responses always due on Wednesday, should be written in, think in terms of an APA paper, kind of a brief mini APA paper with a clear thesis, a body, and then a conclusion, citing sources as appropriate. Your follow-up responses to peers don't need to follow that same criteria. Responses should be made on subsequent days, not all on one day. So in other words, you should be participating in class a minimum of 3 days a week, 1 day for your initial response, and then 2 follow-up responses to your peers. So for full grading, you'll need to be in the class throughout the week and not just coming in on Saturdays. Saturdays is when all responses are due. And so if you just come in on Wednesday and then do your responses on Saturday, it doesn't really lend itself to a really good, true discussion. Discussions are ongoing. So and that's how the best discussions are, is really ongoing through course. So I encourage you to check into the course on multiple days, not just the 2 days of the week. I look forward to being with you. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to post them. And if you have anything that seems unclear or any concepts that seem unclear and you'd like me to address them here in one of these video announcements, please feel free to do so. Again, I look forward to being with you. Review the syllabus, review the materials. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the discussion forums.